Akashvani presents Morning News. Good morning, I am Abhishek Mukhopadhyay. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi calls upon NDA MPs to take central government's welfare schemes to common people. President Draupadi Murmu to inaugurate International Literature Festival, Unmesh, and Festival of Folk and Tribal Performing Arts, Utkarsh at Bhopal in Madhya Pradesh today. 28% GST on online gaming and casinos to be effective from the 1st of October this year. Government gives 6 months' time to pharma companies with over 250 crore rupees turnover to adopt good manufacturing practices. Haryana Chief Minister Manohar Lal says those indulging in violence will have to pay for damages to both government and private property. And in cricket, India to take on West Indies in the first T20 International of the 5-match series in Trinidad and Tobago this evening. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has called upon National Democratic Alliance NDA MPs to take central government's welfare scheme to the common people. Addressing a meeting of NDA MPs in New Delhi, Mr. Modi said the central government has launched many welfare schemes for the common people and it should be properly conveyed to them without the help of state machinery. Prime Minister also advised lawmakers to counter the false narrative of the opposition about the government and clear the confusion among the people. Mr. Modi was interacting with NDA MPs from Kashi, Gorakhpur and Awadh region of Uttar Pradesh and states and union territories of Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Kerala, Puducherry, Lakshadweep and Andaman and Nicobar Islands. The meeting focused on the upcoming Lok Sabha elections in 2024 and its preparation. It was a part of the series of meetings being held by Prime Minister Modi with groups of NDA MPs. On Monday, Mr. Modi had met with groups of NDA MPs from Western Uttar Pradesh, Bundelkhand and Reach region and also with NDA MPs from West Bengal, Jharkhand and Odisha. The groups have been formed as part of efforts to bring more synergy to the poll efforts of NDA constituents. President Draupadi Murmu will inaugurate Unmesh International Literature Festival and Utkarsh Festival of Folk and Tribal Performing Arts at Bhopal in Madhya Pradesh today. The events have been organized by the Ministry of Culture in association with Sahitya Academy and Sangeet Natak Academy. State Governor Mangubhai Patel and Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan, among others, will be present on the occasion. We have a report.
About 800 artists from 36 states and union territories of the country will spread the view of folk and tribal performing arts in Utkarsh Utsav. In this program, many folk dances will present. The International Literature Festival Unmesh is Asia's largest literary convention. Multilingual poetry recitation, tribal poets conference, poetry recitation on Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav and discussion on literature will be highlights of the program. 575 participants representing more than 100 languages from 15 countries will participate in the Unmesh Festival. Prashant Sharma, Akashvani News, Bhopal.
Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman has said 28% GST on casinos and online gaming will be levied on the face value. Addressing media after the 51st GST Council meeting in New Delhi yesterday, Ms. Sitharaman said the 28% GST on online gaming and casinos is expected to be implemented from the 1st of October. The minister said the GST Council in its last meeting had recommended that the law may be amended in this regard to provide clarity in the matter. It recommended certain amendments in the CGST Act 2017 and IGST Act 2017 to provide clarity on the taxation of supplies in casinos, horse racing and online gaming.
The decision to amend the CGST, the Secretariat will work together. We'll get an amendment to the CGST taken up at the earliest, hopefully even in this session. And when the question of when to implement it came, 1st October is when it is expected, by which time the states also will pass their amendments to their state laws. The Council agreed to come back after 6 months to review the way in which this is getting implemented. When I say 6 months, it's not 6 consecutive months beginning from today. It begins from after when this gets implemented.
The government has asked pharma companies to adopt good manufacturing practices to ensure the manufacturing of quality drugs. Good manufacturing practices, GMP, is mandatory standards that bring quality into the product by way of control of materials, methods, machine and processes. Union Health Ministry has given 6 months' time to those pharma companies with turnover of more than 250 crore rupees to adopt good manufacturing practices. Those with turnover of less than 250 crore rupees have been given 12 months. In case of non-compliance with this order, a penalty will be imposed and the license can be suspended. The ministry said the government has taken the decision to produce quality medicines in the country. There are around 10,500 manufacturing units in the country, out of which around 8,500 fall under the MSME category. India is a major exporter of medicines to low and middle income countries which require WHO Good Manufacturing Practices certification. The ministry said currently around 2,000 units in the MSME category in the country have WHO Good Manufacturing Practices certification. Haryana Chief Minister Manohar Lal has said the government will invoke a law passed in 2021 to make rioters pay for damage to both public and private property in communal clashes in the state. He told media persons that 70 FIRs have been filed in connection with the violence in Nuh and other places in southern Haryana.
कोई भी जो लॉस है, चाहे वो पब्लिक प्रॉपर्टी का होगा, चाहे किसी की प्राइवेट प्रॉपर्टी का होगा, जिन्होंने नुकसान किया है वो इस बात के लायबल हैं कि उनसे वो भरपाई कराई जाए। हम उसका पूरा अपना जो सरकारी प्रॉपर्टी है उसका हम करेंगे, प्राइवेट प्रॉपर्टी वालों को भी उनको कहेंगे कि इसकी लायबिलिटी जिनके ऊपर है उनसे वसूल की। अभी तक 116 लोगों को अरेस्ट किया गया है और 90 इसके अतिरिक्त और डिटेन किए गए हैं। सारी प्रोसेस में कोई भी दोषी है उसको बख्शा नहीं जाएगा। ये सारी योजना हमारी इसमें बनी है। आगे के लिए कुछ चीजें हमने जो और तय की हैं उसमें एक ये तय किया है कि IRB की बटालियन नूह जिले में ही स्थापित की जाएगी।
The death toll from the clashes between the two groups has risen to 6. The victims include 2 home guards. Haryana government has suspended internet services in Nuh, Faridabad and Palwal districts as well as Sohana, Pataudi and Manesar subdivisions of Gurugram district till Saturday to maintain law and order in the state. The step has been taken to prevent the spread of misinformation and rumors through various social media platforms like WhatsApp, Facebook and Twitter. Meanwhile, the Deputy Commissioner of Gurugram, Nishant Kumar Yadav, in a tweet announced that all education institutions in Gurugram, including Sohana subdivision, will reopen from today. All education institutions remain closed in Nuh district and bordering areas of Gurugram yesterday after violence broke out on Monday over an attack on religious procession in Nuh. This is Akashvani giving you the news. For quick news updates around the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts. The India Meteorological Department IMD has issued red alert for extremely heavy rainfall in several districts of Madhya Pradesh today due to low pressure area around the Bay of Bengal. Talking to Akashvani News, senior scientist at IMD, R.K. Jenamani said 200 millimeter of rainfall is likely over the state.
The depression over Jharkhand and adjoining North Chhattisgarh has moved further west-northwestward, and today at 5:30 a.m. morning lay over North Chhattisgarh and neighborhood, and it is close to Ambikapur. And because of this depression over North Chhattisgarh and neighborhood, heavy to very heavy rainfall at a few places with isolated extremely heavy rainfall crossing more than 200 millimeter in 24 hours today is likely. Hence, Madhya Pradesh is under the red color. So we have given red color warning for a heavy rainfall over Madhya Pradesh, where more than 200 millimeter rain likely today.
In Odisha, the threat of widespread flooding is looming large over different parts of the state which received heavy rainfall under impact of depression over Bay of Bengal. 2 days of incessant rains has left different rivers in spate, while many villages have been cut off by swirling flood water. The state government ordered provisioning of dry and cooked food and drinking water for people marooned by flood water. Director General of Fire Services has been requested to deploy teams in the districts of Bodh, Mayurbhanj, Subarnapur, Angul, Balangir, Kandamal, Sambalpur, Jajpur and Bhadrak for search and rescue operation. Anticipating heavy rain to the next 2 days, Odisha Disaster Rapid Action Force and National Disaster Response Force have been sent to districts facing imminent flood threat. Jharkhand is also receiving incessant rain since last 2 days. Local district administration in East Singhbhum, West Singhbhum and Saraikela Kharsawa districts have been actively engaged in bringing people living in low areas in safe zone. The Met Department has predicted fairly widespread heavy rainfall across the state for the next 2 days. Minister of Environment, Forest and Climate Change Bhupender Yadav chaired a consultative committee meeting on 75 at 75 Ramsar sites in New Delhi yesterday. During the meeting, the minister highlighted the importance of wetlands and shared the steps taken by the government for the protection and conservation of wetlands in India. He also discussed India's significant milestone of getting 75 wetland sites under the Ramsar Convention on Wetlands of international importance on the 75th year of independence. The Environment Ministry in a statement said that in the meeting, the committee members appreciated the efforts of the ministry for designating 75 wetlands at Ramsar sites. The 9th edition of India, Latin America and Caribbean LSE Conclave will begin in New Delhi today. The two-day event is being organized by the Confederation of Indian Industry. Executive Vice President of Venezuela, Delcy Rodriguez, arrived in India last evening to participate in the conclave. Ms. Rodriguez will meet Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar in Delhi today. During the 4-day visit, the visiting dignitary will also meet External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar. India and Lesotho held 5th round of Joint Bilateral Commission for Cooperation in the capital, Maseru, of southern African country yesterday. During the meeting, the two sides carried out a comprehensive review of the existing bilateral relations, including enhancing of cooperation in development partnership, trade and economic relations, energy and consular matters. Both sides also reviewed the status of MOUs under negotiation and agreed to expedite the finalization for the mutual benefit of both the countries. On to sports now. In cricket, India will take on West Indies in the first T20 International of the 5-match series at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy in Trinidad and Tobago today. The match will begin at 8 p.m. Indian time. The second match will be held at the Providence Stadium in Guyana on Sunday. The third match of the series will be played at the same venue on the 8th of this month. The last two matches will be played in the United States. The fourth match will be held on the 12th of August at the Lauderhill in Florida, and the final and fifth match of the series will be played on the 13th of this month at the same venue. After winning the Test Series 1-0, India registered 2-1 victory in the One-Day International Series. In badminton, 8 Indian players including Kidambi Srikanth, Aegis Prannoy and PV Sindhu will be seen in action in the singles pre-quarterfinals of the Australian Open today. Kidambi will kick-start action for the day. He will face Chinese Taipei's Su Li Yang in the second round of the men's singles. Aegis Prannoy will face Chinese Taipei's Chi Yu Zhen later in the day. In the other men's singles matches, Kiran George will meet Indonesia's Anthony Sinisuka Ginting. India's Mithun Manjunath will be up against Lee Ji Jia of Malaysia. In the women's singles, fifth seed Sindhu will take on compatriot Akarshi Kashyap. And now, for a look at today's newspapers, it's over to Renu Kataria.
Thank you, Abhishek. PM Modi's address at the G20 Ministerial Conference on Women Empowerment is noticed by the papers. The statesman quoting PM Modi writes, "Women's leadership fosters inclusivity." The paper says, PM says when women prosper, the world prospers at G20 Ministerial Conference. No violence toll rises to 6 protest rallies in Delhi, leads Hindustan Times. Gurgaon on edge, 116 held and 44 FIRs filed. CM vows crackdown, reports the Asian Age. 28% GST on online gaming casinos to kick in from October 1st, informs Business Line. Writing on the Upahar fire tragedy, the Indian Express writes, 26 years after deadly Upahar blaze, court orders de-sealing of building. And finally, at 78, Mizoram man enrolls in Standard 9, walks 3 km to school daily, writes the Times of India. The paper says, Lalring Thara's ambition is to be able to write applications in English and to understand the news telecast on television. And with that, it's back to you, Abhishek.
Thank you, Renu. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi calls upon NDA MPs to take central government's welfare schemes to the common people. President Draupadi Murmu to inaugurate International Literature Festival Unmesh and Festival of Folk and Tribal Performing Arts Utkarsh at Bhopal in Madhya Pradesh today. 28% GST on online gaming and casinos to be effective from the 1st of October this year. Government gives 6 months' time to pharma companies with over 250 crore rupees turnover to adopt good manufacturing practices. Haryana Chief Minister Manohar Lal says those indulging in violence will have to pay for damages to both government and private property. And in cricket, India to take on West Indies for the first T20 International of the 5-match series in Trinidad and Tobago this evening. And with that, we end the morning news. Have a nice day.